It's that time. Let's go! Yes. And we're back for another one. Here on this 5/26/25. Let's get the mic check out the way. See North Miami Beach in the house. Crown Jewels checking in. UK. Eon checking in. Ava. Steph, Warlock, E-Phase, Boomer. Man, much love, everybody. Thank you, Boomer, Deanne, Gunther, John Boy. All right, Kenny G. And thank you guys that share the stream. As always, I appreciate it to the fullest. Harm, Kenny, Hoodie Ross. Good to see Bill, Soft Kitty, Christ is King, for the love of God. Everyone out there, walk with God. Victor Freeman, Brian, thank you, G. I hope everything is good. Plenty to cover here tonight. And I hope everybody's well. Life's going about as good as you can get it. I hope things are on the upside for you. If not, hopefully we can raise your spirits here tonight. All the purebloods in the house, salutes. And yeah, let's hope everybody's doing good, man. And just trying to make the most out of life. Enjoying time with friends and family. And on Memorial Day, a rest in peace to all those that gave their lives and all those that we lost. This life goes by very fast. The older you get, the more you realize that, and we'll be seeing them sooner than later. That's how I see it. So much love to everybody on the other side, especially the ones that fought the good fight. We're going to start off tonight with an update on some flights. Actually, this is an international flight that was en route to Houston, diverted to Seattle. They're saying that an unruly passenger tried to open the exit doors mid-flight. Fly the friendly skies. So, wow. This is Nippon Airways from Tokyo to Houston. Made this landing at SeaTac 4:15 a.m. after a passenger having a medical crisis attempted to open the exit door mid-flight. The person was not identified. No other information about the incident was available. Oddly, a second person, unrelated to the first incident, was removed from the flight for unruly behavior. And that was on the tarmac at SeaTac. And that was before he got a chance to depart to Houston. So, I don't know what was going on with that. Setting off some, look, real deal. Frequencies and things like that could drive someone crazy. They can manipulate people. The information that we know now with what they can do could have been a handful of different things going on here, but glad nothing massively bad didn't happen here. You know, like open up the door or something, people go getting sucked out and the flight may go down. I don't know, man. At least that didn't happen. Just been seeing a lot of crazy stuff that doesn't make me want to fly. Just put it that way. Some people have to, man, but I'm going to keep it pushing here tonight. I got a lot I want to dive into. And Kathy, I appreciate that more than you know. All the support. Thank you for the super chat. And anyone that buys a coffee, help support the channel. It's all appreciated to the fullest. Daily Survival in House. Geo. All right, well, we've got Duck Dynasty patriarch Phil Robertson dead at 79. Now with the Lord. He was diagnosed not too long ago with Alzheimer's. And they were, going through the stages of that. And well, he's passed away. R.I.P. For anyone that watched the show. I never seen it. I haven't had cable in I don't even know how many years. Long time. But I've heard of him. I've seen clips of him. I see him, in what I do with the news and all that. I these people are mentioned, and I knew that he was a star from one of them shows. But I think we also had not too long ago. We have some seemed like maybe a couple people past couple years from that big show that used to do the crab stuff out in the ocean and all that. I don't know. No one lives forever again. Rest in peace, my man. All right, going to get an update here out of New Orleans. We got 4 people arrested for aiding and abetting these escaped New Orleans prison inmates. And this became kind of the cool thing to do. These guys were well known, the whole group. You know, each one of them had a connection into a different part of the hood, neighborhood areas all throughout New Orleans. And I don't know, the way that they did this. I mean, the hood helped them, people helped them, and now those people are caught and they're going down. I can't help but think that these guys are probably tracked. This is what I don't. We know that they have technology on every major city, watching it via satellite. They've had this going on a decade. When it was first rolled out, it came out of California, and they said that they had busted a guy robbing a bank, and they slipped up, so to speak, because later we found out they didn't really want this information out there. They let it be known that with their technology, they were able to track the suspect right back to his front doorstep. How's that? Because they watched him from satellite. It's all recorded in real time, unlike TiVo. And they just went back to that exact time when the guy entered the building, and they hit rewind. They went backwards, and they tracked him right back to his doorstep. It's a decade ago. They can watch this place like a hawk. Since then, SpaceX and all the satellites that have been up, man, you ain't got no privacy. They're peering through your roof. They're looking right into the house. They're seeing anything and everything. And they can just use your Wi-Fi, period, to do that. They can map a whole house, every living thing that's in it, the bird, the cat, the dog, the fish, how many humans. They know everything that's in there via the Wi-Fi and frequency. It's nuts, but they can. That's why in some of these levels, I just don't buy it, because I don't know. I just feel like they've got the capabilities to really capture anybody if they want, but who knows? Maybe it was a cloudy day. They didn't catch these guys dispersing from one location because half of them are still on the run. But I will say, if you get into like the heart of the hood, it's easy to bounce from spot to spot in those areas. Like, I grew up in the hood, basically, most of my life, and the cities are like the same way that I've seen across the country when it comes to like downtown. The houses are stacked right up on top of each other. Like, there's like 3 feet, not even what I would call an alleyway space between the houses. That's how close they all are. Town after town after town. And just back then, like, people would just, they'd jump from one house to the next, to the next, to the next. And like, you'd never know it. Cops would kick in the door of one house, and they'd be out the side door, and they'd be three doors down in a house, all through side doors, and no one would know. I seen crazy stuff. They'd use the roof the same way. They just jump from roof to roof to roof. And while the cops are all running around down the bottom, they'd be up there laughing their asses off. So these guys, I don't know. They're still on the run. I don't know what each one is charged for, but yeah, that's the situation. They're not saying they're like armed and dangerous, going to kill people or anything like that. So, but this man, Karmelo Anthony, it took it upon himself to draw a weapon and go stab an innocent, defenseless man to death with it. He's getting charged now with first-degree murder. tried as an adult, but he won't face the death penalty. So that's what they're throwing out there on him. If you don't know, he's accused of murdering or stabbing to death Austin Metcalf here on the right, RIP. And they've moved Karmelo because all of a sudden he's getting dangerous threats. So they moved him. His defense team complaining of dangerous threats and harassment. It doesn't matter. Karma will get you. You want to murder somebody like that? I mean, you're going to pay the price. Somehow, this system's broken. We see people murder other people and walk within 7 years out there. It's insane. So, they're already on the left. Well, I don't know why they're doing this stuff, but like they're trying to treat him like, special when he shouldn't be. Just like they wanted to, they want to treat, what's his name? The guy that shot the Luigi guy, Luigi that shot the CEO dude. They want to treat him like a rock star and all this stuff too. It's because they want more of it. They want more of it. Don't you forget it, man. That's why certain things are plastered out there and why some things are never mentioned. I've seen so many people get murdered and killed over the years that never even hit the headlines because they're not worth it, I guess. So many people. But just letting you know an update on this first-degree murder, tried as an adult. Just remember, Karmelo Anthony. When I first heard that name, it struck me as odd because I could have swore when I grew up there was a basketball player with the same exact name or something very similar. It's how it struck me. But again, if you're gonna murder someone in cold blood out there, you're gonna pay the price. I don't want you around me. I don't want you around no one. I want you around the kids, around at the park. I want you nowhere around no one. Knowing that if you just get pissed off, you're just gonna stab someone to death. That's ridiculous. The fact that they took away the death penalties just right at the gate, I don't understand it. But again, either way it goes, out here, anyone that wants to murder like that, no matter your nationality, your color, your religion, doesn't matter. You want to be a murderer, we don't need it. Well, we've just got hit. This whole country just got filled with murderers and rapists and all this other stuff for 4 years. It just ran up in us. And it's not been good. Boomer, thank you for the coffee. I do appreciate that to the fullest. Let's jump on here into the economic system. I want to share with you a graph here that shows where we're at in the assets that are held by the top 1%. It's not even 1%. It's 0.01%. You always hear the term the 1%ers. Try 0.1%ers. That's how consolidated this is in the power. So, let me show you. What did I miss over here? Spirit calling. Happened to Days of Noah. Thanks, Brother W. What was that, a channel or something? I don't get it. I feel like we're living in the days of Noah. Like it said, prophesized. That's what you mean. But thank you for that. This chart is showing the total assets held again by the top 0.01%. See, we always hear 1%, but it's actually it's a fraction of that. I mean, it's not even, man, it's such a consolidation of power. And this is why I keep saying that we're about to see a huge event. We are going to see a huge event. Okay. I've never been one to be like, try to worry about, the fine details of something. If I just know that an event's coming, and I try to get it as much as I can, but I'm never going to know the day, the hour, so all I can do is know that a massive event's coming and warn everybody the best I can, without it getting to the point to where people are numb to it. We've heard of economic collapse Even, my first days coming into the game, long time ago, there was always the threat. There always has been of something happening to the economy that can affect our lives. Well, the Great Depression was huge. And I feel like we're coming up on an event that's going to put America there. I don't like saying it because I don't know who's going to live, who's going to make it, who's going to come out on the other side when all this is said and done. But there's going to be a series of events. This we know for sure. And we know a big economic event is one of them. How it all unfolds again, the exact details, exact day and hour, I don't know. But this is why I tell everybody out there, look, I wouldn't get caught with my own personal stuff in a 401k at all. And this is what I call the great taking. This is what I call the great taking. Okay? That's how I see it. They're going to take everyone's 401ks, their retirements, and they're going to do it in one huge stock dump. It's rather obvious. Call it the biggest orchestration ever here. Look at the chart here. We lived through the dot-com bubble, which gets a lot of talk. A lot of people say, oh yeah, the dot-com bubble. Thank you, Tina. They accumulated 1.8 trillion in 1990. This 0.1% did. Then the housing bubble, which was a big scam. It's just called the housing bubble, and it sticks to most people's minds like that, but that was a huge orchestrated scam. All of it. Lehman, all of it. So the housing bubble, they accelerated their earnings even more. And you can see if they would have just stayed, if they would have kept pace with inflation, it would be 4.3 trillion. But they didn't. They exceeded this big time when lockdowns commenced. And you guys remember when the stock market took a tank? Like one day in the middle of all this stuff, it just tanked. Everything went down. I'll never forget it because I was looking at all the charts. I look at the charts daily. All of them had bottomed out. And like even Bitcoin, I'll never forget, Bitcoin stood out the most in my mind because of the dramatic drop. It dropped to $3,000 to $4,000. Those dips are what master buyers in the game do. While everyone else is panicking, running around like a chicken with their head cut off, they're buying the dip. And as I always say, buy the dip, sell the tip. Well, they took a lot in this whole 4-year period. You can see it's the equivalent of $20 trillion in Q3 of 2023. The U Hollywood. And then still rising. Now, this is from 2024. They got all this information. So we don't have, from January 2024, I'd like to have some updated stuff. Maybe this is the newest that they can get. But this is like insane, ridiculous. Now, they have not even pulled off the event that I'm telling you about. When they pull this event off, this thing goes parabolic. It's already starting to. You can see here the pullback right up here at the top of the everything bubble. It's what they call the everything bubble. It was minimal and it kept on going up. I'm telling you now with Trump in there, him coming in, telling everyone, buy. We're going into the golden era and all this. They're fattening the hog. They're fattening the pig for the slaughter. It's what they're doing. I want you to always remember this. These men hold the majority of the shares of all the stocks that you buy. Okay? Your Apple, your Tesla, all this. They hold it. And they're all going to strategically dump. It's not going to be good. It's going to be a cascading effect that's it's going to cause a reset. Now, there's a reason why things are happening right now, okay? This event, to the rescue is going to come these stable dollars, okay? Why would they call a bill genius? Why? Why would they? To me, It means they've absolutely fooled the people ingeniously. And it's what they've done. I always tell you, it's all about the people in control. And when a new technology comes along, if there's bad people, they're going to use that for bad things. If it's good, if it was good people, we could use it for a plethora of good things. Just like anything. But as I've always warned you, they want to track and trace you and then cut off and freeze all your funds and do stuff like that in the future, totalitarian, like China. Like China's shown us. These stable coins are here to save the day for the United States, because what this does in a world going forward is it makes sure that all of the stable coins, no matter who's making them, they're all pegged to the US dollar. Not pegged to the yuan, not pegged to the ruble, not pegged to anything else. So as this whole thing grows and expands globally, as it does every day, these stable coins cement the US's power in it. So even if an event does happen, what they would do is they would simply, I've already told you this. I'm going to repeat it one more time here, clearly. Okay? I want you to realize what's coming. They're about to hold your money hostage. I don't know if it's going to be for a couple of days, a couple of weeks. It seems like it would be more effective if they did it for at least a week or so. What they're going to do is they're going to then order, just stroke of a pen by Trump, executive order this or that, as he does every day now. He's going to order the banks to switch over or to issue a digital wallet for everybody's account. Say you got $3,000 in your bank account right now. Okay? And just an example. And you can't get it. It's been a week. You're stressing. Rent's overdue. All the bills are late. You haven't been able to get nothing out. Gas money to go to work, to eat off of. And this isn't just you. This is everybody. Okay? They're going to come and they're going to say, he's going to sign an executive order, and boom. You're going to have your money right there. They're going to say, go download an app, a wallet, and you got your money. Do you see what's about to happen? They have to have an event to come to the rescue. Don't ever forget this. We've seen it before it ever happened, like we usually do. Seen it from a mile away while no one else wants to talk about it. And it could even happen smooth. Like, I don't know, panic people for a day or two and just come to the rescue and just hold everybody hostage. The whole thing is like the only way out is this digital wallet. That's it. You got to accept it. And most people will without batting an eye. They won't even know the difference. They're going to be like, what's this? All I got to do is download the app and I got my money. And they're going to be like, yes, this is a new system that we've got, an emergency backup. And it is. It's what they've been waiting to roll out. They have to have a cause to do it, though. And it's about to happen. Like, we're right there. We all could feel it. Something huge is about to happen. I call it the economic 9/11. And when this happens, why do you think Warren Buffett is sitting on the sideline in a record amount of cash, just retired finally, and like not buying nothing? Because this is about to happen. It's like red herrings, the elephant in the room, if you ask me. So, just remember the stable coins, all this is being implemented and rolled out for a reason. I'm telling you why. People are looking around, seeing these things happening. They're not understanding what it is, what it means. I'm telling you, this is what it is and what it means. This is what's about to happen. And I just told you here recently, the Mint came out and backed up Trump's order to do away with pennies. So they're going to be done with that. Next will be nickels. And then just give it 5 years. Give it to 2030, as we always say. And all of the fiat cash is going to get rounded up. Well, it's not going to be worth anything. And I told you before, it's probably going to be worth something. Collector's items at some point. It's never to be made again. Never to be minted again. For what? The greatest nation on the planet? The currency? Never to be minted again. It's going to go digital. Crossing the Rubicon. Telling you. When we wake up, anytime, seems anytime, and you're hearing stories about banks, even banks in lawsuits or banks in big trouble, that could be the very beginning of it. Because something's got to cause, outside of a cyber attack, holding the money hostage, like something's got to cause this to happen. Which could be a cyber attack very easily. Remember here, within the past 6 months, something happened. It was quick. It was like a day or so. They called it a glitch. It wasn't a cyber attack or nothing like that, but it was a glitch. But it was enough to affect the banks. Nobody get their money out. They said it was a glitch. So what happens if a glitch happens again? You know, like, I'm telling you, I'm warning you. That's the move. Let's jump into the cattle real quick. Our industry has been hurting. It's been getting hit, decimated. Everyone's paying record amounts for beef. I get mine this week. Thankfully. Thank the Most High. I got family that wanted to split a cow, and I will have mine this week from a place that I trust. Can load up a freezer and be good. And like not have to worry about none of this crap. Stuff breaks loose, wood chips and metal being found in your face. Get out of here with all that. Like, I'm sick of it, to be honest with you. I can't stand even going out anymore, man. It's like they live. It's like, really, it's like that anymore for me. I'm really living that life. Like everywhere I go by, I look at every burger joint, every place. I was sitting there looking at them with disgust. Every one of them, like, I wonder what they're feeding their people, and like all this, like it's the truth. You walk in the store and look on the shelves, it's all poison. It's just like, what the? Yeah, that's me. I see it all clearly, and it's just depressing. This place is getting crushed, all while a bunch of idiots are over in the corner cheerleading, acting like they're winning. Cattle industry. Oh, man, I pray for it because this is the backbone of our food supply. With this continuing downhill, if something happens to the chicken, a crisis will begin. So I just, like bird flu, that's my biggest nightmare. I feel like we can weave through certain events out here. But the bird flu event is the one that I think I don't make it out of. It's the only way that I can put it. I don't see how I can. Just no way out of it. Yeah. I will never leave the mountains once that happens. And maybe I can get comms out. Maybe not. When they got everyone at gunpoint, that's what people also don't understand. They look at what we went through and they associate that, what you want to call pandemic, with a pandemic, which it wasn't. It was not bodies stacked up. And it wasn't super deadly. Bird flu will be. And I've already had the visions. Like God, like branded me with the cast iron. Like put it on my soul. He gave me the vision of that. It shook me. I spent the past 5 years of my life preparing for it. You ask anyone I know, I've dropped everything preparing for it because of those visions. Everyone else is back to life, back to normal, living life. Just totally forgot. Just a couple years ago, we were locked down. You couldn't leave, couldn't hit the highway without essential papers, all this crap. And these fools seem to forget it was brought to you by your Gentile Messiah, Mr. Warp Speed. It happened on his watch. It began on his watch. Again, they don't want to talk about it. They'll turn a cheek and run the other way with their pom-poms. It's pathetic. Anyway, cattle industry getting murked, going downhill. And the only remedy I know is to like get some cows or know a family member or friend, someone in the community that has some. You're going to need this stuff, man. Luckily, God seated me here in Kentucky. And a lot of people here are used to being poor. But a lot of people here are used to living off the land as well and not needing anyone else. You know, if the road's blocked, can't get to the store, well, they got a garden out there. They got goods. They got a well. They got pretty much everything you need. So the threat is minimal in a place like this. Do you understand? In terms of people turning on each other? Do you understand that? Seriously. Versus the city, where people will split you open for that last can of soup in the street. They sure will, and that'll happen. That was a big, big difference. Let me jump on to this warning. If this place breaks down and you've got friends or family that need medicine, I'd have a plan. Maybe you need medicine to survive. Maybe you're a diabetic. Maybe if you don't have your medicine, you're going to die. Well, if that was me, I'd be chalking up a plan, and it doesn't matter what it is. I don't care what anyone says. I'm chalking up a plan, and I'm going to implement the plan to save mine or my family and friends' lives, right? And other people are going to be thinking the same way. If the pharmacy has the last bit of goods in it downtown and all society is breaking down, what are you going to do? Who's going to make the first move? Because whoever doesn't is virtually dead without their medicines. This is going to be a huge thing you need to see coming. When this whole thing breaks down, this is going to be affected. And I seen an article earlier that showed that, like, in France, they pay for like $70-some worth of medicines compared to us in the hundreds, literally. Like, we're getting jacked here on medicine big time. And with this whole trade war thing going on, I don't see it getting any cheaper. But have a plan. Know where the goods are, man. I'd be thinking about these things. Yeah, you could call it far-fetched if we wouldn't just locked down 5 years, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, right? But we were. So this isn't far-fetched. You ever stop and think why they did that? Why they ran the beta test for any moment of time? You only run a beta test for a real thing. You only run it that large for a real deadly thing. Don't you ever forget. It's the number one warning that I put on all of you from these days forward is that for the bird flu. Because then, if you ain't got the mark, you're gunpoint. I ain't fake. You're going to have to battle for your life. Soldiers will have guns on you this time. Don't you forget it. You won't. Because when it happens, it's going to be shocking. Everyone's going to be shell-shocked. Because you lived through a lie and you accepted it. When you see bodies stacked up, and actually you've got friends and actually got family, and your high school teacher and your boss and all this other, they're all dead. Changes things real quick. Everyone's just going to fall in line and do what they say, especially when soldiers got guns. What do you think all these strike teams are going to do? They're getting warmed up. This whole thing's in motion, man. Like Jade Helma's in motion on our border. Like, dude, the stuff we warned about a decade ago, it's here. It's happening. And what's crazy is half the, what you want to call patriots that were around then, they've been seduced by the MAGA. And they're nowhere to be found. It's pathetic. That's why this country goes down. That black magic has seduced your patriots and your people, and it's got them corralled and under a spell. And it's the truth. Enigma, thank you for the coffees. Anyone that wants to say, well, what is he saying? Were we supposed to vote for Biden? No, I never said that. Don't make excuses, because that's all you ever do. I'm calling you out because you voted for Trump, which was the right thing to do over Biden, right? At the time, I'll give you that. What now? You turn a cheek on every hard subject. I bring it up every show. No one wants to talk about it. Everyone wants to run the other way. That's coward. I told you why. It's because all these people are part of a club now. They're part of a gang. They never had it in life. Maybe they never made the swim team or the music team or never did make anything. And for the first time, they feel like they're a part of something. Do you understand this? They didn't fit in a church. They didn't fit in nowhere. But now with MAGA, they're part of a club. And they won't dare turn on it. Or have them turn on them. And if somebody starts calling out Trump, going against the grain, which they should do, a true leader, a true wise one would, and you would stand out, and I think you would get a larger following around you. But no, they're scared. They're afraid that they're going to get ridiculed and slandered by their peers, everyone that they've surrounded themselves with. And some probably will do it because it's like high school. It's pathetic. I see grown-ass men older than me over there all day, every day, pandering to Trump and playing this game. It's all politics every day, all day, every day. I hate it. It's sickening. It's disgusting. Never asking the hard questions, the ones that we're asking, which deserve an answer, man. We keep it pushing. See where we're at here. All right. Point out, I'm just going to name off some of the best places to work in America right now. In case you don't know. What they're saying. The University of Notre Dame is the top place in the country to work, apparently. I would have never guessed that. Trader Joe's behind it. Then Houston Methodist. Then NVIDIA. Navy Federal Credit Union. Then Google. Microsoft. In-N-Out. Delta. Raymond James. That's the top 10, right? And they've got more on there. St. Luke's, Adobe, Nike, Fidelity, Costco, Progressive, to name a few. Until AI takes your job. Anymore, if you're looking to get a job, the first thing you should do is say, can AI take that job? And if so, in what at a time? Wiley, Coyote, thank you for the coffees. I appreciate it. To the fullest, man. Hope you get that Roadrunner. We're here one of these days. So this is a good one. The EPA is looking to remove the carbon limits. And this is big. This could change the face of the country. You know, where I'm at in the Appalachian Mountains, in a lot of the states around me, back in the day, so to speak, before my time, there was a thing called coal country. And coal country kept this country going. And it boomed. And, you know, a lot of these places down these old back roads, they boomed back then. You know, there was gas stations and stores. They thrived. Anymore, since they shut it all down in my lifetime, all these places have become poor because of it. Gas stations don't exist no more in these old back roads. They're all falling apart. And that's the way they want it. And that's ridiculous. Well, thankfully, those in my state got hip to this. And when Biden started ordering all this crap, they said no. They said no for the most part, and they kicked all the climate crap out of the state, which I applauded. It said any bank that wants to push it can go. That was huge. Told JP Morgan Chase, all of them that. If you want to play that game with climate crap, leave. Is what my state did. It was a huge moment. And they, go look it up. JP Morgan, they left it. They dropped their agenda for the climate crap. You see, when you step up and you actually fight back sometimes, things happen. I'm ready. Like, people got to do it. And people, like, I feel like this country's going to miss its chance. Like, there was a chance where if just the people would have got behind the right individuals and the right mindset out there, something could be done. But a lot of people are like deer in headlights all the time and don't do much. They just show up and listen. They don't participate, don't try to get active. But with this story, this does away with the carbon limits. And I'm telling you, man, if coal and all that can come back to life, like Trump's saying, let it be. Let these places thrive again. Let them be able to sell their coal and their natural gas and make top dollar. You know? You have to have a mix of all this stuff. It's just, you have to. You can't just rely on just wind or just solar or any of that. You have to have, yeah, a low OD. Well, I'm on Restream, man. We switched up. We left OBS, in the rear view, and we're on Restream. So hopefully the streams are better now. I haven't, knock on wood, so as they say, I haven't had a big problem. And mini streams now. What do you mean, Ghostface Kidder? Kentucky ain't free. Whoever said anything about it being? What do you mean? Kentucky ain't free? As in what? Compared to where? Where you at? Coal Miner's Daughter, Twilight, much love, Ava. I just want to see our places thrive again. It gives the states power too against the feds. In the end, it does. I'm gonna jump over to the UK. Shout outs to Crown Jewels, all my cats out there. People have become pussified, lowrider. It's sad to say. It's the truth, though. Much love, my brother. I'm jumping over to your neck of the woods, Daz, Crown, everybody. All my cats in the UK, you've had a heck of a day on this Memorial Day. You guys were celebrating the English Premier Football League's league victory. This was in Liverpool, and a suspect drove through the crowd of people. Driver rammed through the parade, running down dozens of locals. Emergency services descended into the streets, and it was chaos. They say an unknown number of people were injured. I don't see anything about deaths. So I'm looking for it. So I don't see anything where anyone was killed, which would be a huge positive because bodies went flying. This is where it come to a stop. We'll play this clip, and you can see this is the police surrounding it. Like, when it first happened, the people had this thing surrounded. I don't know how this guy survived and got out of there.
What's happened? Some twat has drove a fucking car into our fans. What's happened? Some twat has drove a fucking car into our fans.
And I've seen different angles, some which I can't show. Well, I mean, if it didn't kill nobody, they can't say that it's showing somebody dying. Well, it didn't even show it on this. It must have been on the other link. There was another clip that showed it actually like the bodies flying. But I guess I'll spare you that. I just they say, I seen on another headline, they're saying this is not an act of terrorism. Others would argue and say that no, this has got to be. It definitely is. That it went through, it slowed down, and it continued to go. That was the main thing, the way they described it, that it came through, it slowed down after hitting people and then punched the gas. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, you keep us posted there, Crown Jewels. That's your neck of the woods. If anything is suspect, fishy, anything breaking, anything, just let us know there, brother. I feel for your people. I seen from the other clips the people were pissed. I mean, they were fighting. Some of the guys were fighting the cops on the ground because the the people swarmed the vehicle. They swarmed it immediately, and I thought that they were going to kill the guy. They were like drag him out. I don't think that they could get him out because the doors were locked or something. It gave the police enough time to get up there and then get to the suspect, get him out, drag him away. But any other time, like, I mean, just a couple more minutes if the cops wouldn't have been there. But I seen the cops fighting the citizens, which is garbage, man. Like, they had them held down to the ground, like trying to swing on some of them. And that's garbage. This dude just rammed the crowd. Like, you should be concerned about the people in the vehicle just rammed everybody. I don't know. I guess they do have to back some people away, but still they were like fighting with them, and I just didn't like the scenes of it. I get sick of it. I've been to so many events over the years where I've ended up on the front lines of the cops beating up everyday people. I've seen it so much. It's a recurring theme. I've been to city after city after city after city when it comes to protests and all this stuff. It's always the same thing. It's always the same thing. Cops want to come in, beating down people, swinging nightsticks, and spraying chemicals and everything. I've been hit by so many chemicals out there. I should better sue these goons. I know it's affected me in some ways. I got stuff wrong with me right now. No one can explain. My hands are numb. They go numb like constantly. Imagine your arms falling asleep and never waking back up. That's kind of like what it feels. And the pain. And like, no one can explain to me what it is for years now. And I think back at all the crazy crap, all the chemical munitions that I've endured. A really bad dose at the RNC. I remember that one was put me out of commission for a minute. So all my sinus cavities and we don't know what they're putting in these chemicals. So the car was being attacked, so he drove off, it seems. Okay. Which is how the street was open. It's 30 miles away from me. Okay, thank you for those details. It always helps to get some from the ground details. No, my hands don't go numb. They are numb. All constantly. They don't go numb. They are constantly. I shouldn't even say anything because it's like one of the things everybody tries to come with a home remedy. And I appreciate it because people care. But like, I've been every doctor under the sun, man, for years now, a specialist and everything. So it's again one of the mysteries. Just like the outage here at Twitter, it was a big mystery. I don't know if everyone's on X or not. I use it pretty much every day. Kick out all my news, circulate it out there. It is probably the biggest aggregated news feed out there in real time every day. If tweets get kicked out, posts get kicked out on X before even news articles on breaking events and everything. So it's where the quickest stuff comes from. There's no doubt about it. So if you're not following me on X, you should, even though I'm highly censored there, but I am here too. And I always will be. As long as I'm in existence here, they'll censor me. But it's what it is. All I can do is remind you guys, and also hit the subscribe button over here. If you haven't checked in a while, YouTube's changed things up. People have been unsubscribed. D. White was unsubscribed. And people don't get notifications. You need to open it up and check the notification box. Yeah, I just did a test for circulation. I just did the ESG, the EGG, where they shock you and they do all the stuff. Done it all, man. And it came back perfectly fine and normal. All right. For years, they tried telling me it was B12 deficiency and all this other crap, and it wasn't. I go back, my B12 levels were fine. Everything was great. And they were like, you're as healthy as it can be, but we can't tell you what's wrong with you. Okay. So, yeah. Crown tools. Hey, it is what it is, man. Try to make the most of every day. You're not promised tomorrow, right? Here's some updates on the COVID stuff. Out of China, they're trying to say there's a resurgence with painful symptoms, and they're calling it razor blade throat. I don't think you want to get this one. And who knows what they've concocted here. I trust nothing at all. Okay? I trust nothing from them. I trust nothing. This is the evil world. I don't trust anything that they do. You should know. You can't trust the smart meter on your house. You can't trust what they're putting in the water. You can't trust what they're putting in your food, in the air. It's the truth. Okay, so it's a big experiment, right? We're all being experimented on constantly, right? John, thank you for the coffee. Much love, my brother. Nope, got a strong heart. Big, strong, all that. I'm healthy as an ox, they say. So, none of that. So, jumped Comey over here. Comey throws out of, I see it as a veiled threat because he's pissed off of everything that just happened, investigation, and I think he's pompous, and he is establishment, 100% part of the establishment here. I'm gonna play this clip so you guys can hear what he has to say.
Well, these are the people who, through decades and decades, have seen every kind of case. And so they're there to make sure that the work, no matter who's in charge in the White House, no matter who the Attorney General is, that the work is done consistently with previous practice and consistent with the law. I know Republicans these days aren't big in thinking about principle or precedent.
Listen.
They're going to be deeply sorry that that disappears, because someday there will be a Democratic president and there'll be investigations of Republican office holders. If I'm them, I sure would want these career people in place, making sure that it's done in the right way.
Honorable person.
So he's basically sitting there saying, like, the table's gonna turn again. And he knows a lot. Former head, of everything. Come on. He's not a bit afraid. And he knows, and he's telegraphing it right there. The people better watch. That's how I take it. The people better watch out, because you're letting Trump, run around doing everything he's doing, persecuting people. Wait till the tables are turned. So, and Trump's not going to be around forever. What happens when Trump exits? Can J.D. Vance carry all? I don't think he can. No one can. No one. No one. You can never get another Trump. No one lives forever. You only get certain windows in time. You only get certain opportunities for so long. And their Trump card is going to be played, and it's going to be in the history books when it's all said and done. They've milked it out and stretched it out as long as one can. Okay? So, I mean, who knows? In some crazy situation, they could try to kick him off 4 more years after this, but Trump doesn't even want that himself. I can see that clearly from his own statements off the cuff with no teleprompter, where he's just speaking like he's like, nah, like the one I showed you the other day. He'd done be retired somewhere, enjoying retirement, if he wasn't doing this, and he's ready to be there. So he doesn't want to continue doing this. It's work. If you had a chance to go live in the shade for the rest of your final days, retire, or keep working, it just depends. Everyone's different. Everyone's different. And I have to mention this. The details of Anderson Cooper and Kamala Harris in their interview have come out, and she apparently cussed him hard. It was saying that the mother doesn't treat me like I'm the damn vice president of the United States. apparently went off. I guess they felt like they were supposed to be getting, easy questions and this preferable treatment or all this, pampered. They didn't like it. And people that witnessed it, of course, saying things about it. Senator Mitch McConnell, ditch Mitch. Get him out of here. Something that rhymes with Mitch that starts with the B and it ain't itch. And that's what I call Mitch. Punk. That's right. I don't like him. Never have. Never will. He's a sellout. He's establishment. He's a Kentucky senator. He's the biggest problem in my state. Always has been as long as I can remember. And I want him gone. He's in very bad shape. They're saying that he's frail and he's in incapacitated condition where he's basically being toted around everywhere he goes. Last time we seen him on camera, he looked like he was done. So I don't think he's got much longer. There'll probably be announcements on him this year at some point. And I mean, he's like in super bad condition. Like we were watching Biden and they were trying to hide it and hide it and hide it. He's done. The House Oversight wants to question the handlers that were controlling Biden the whole time. And, well, it's just like a show to me. I don't believe it. Like, questioning, but like, what are you guys going to do? Like, I really want to see someone go to jail. Are you guys ever going to do it? I'll never see it. Here's Jesse Waters talking to one of these congressmen, and he's explaining the situation.
Comer joins me now. All right, Congressman, who are you going to subpoena first?
Well, we're going to request that 4 staffers that we've identified as the main gatekeepers for the Biden White House, that they come and answer our questions. We're also requesting that Dr. O'Connor come. That's the first step towards a subpoena.
Well, tell me first who these 4 people voluntarily are. Who are the 4?
Well, there are no names that anyone that normally watches Fox would know. They're behind the scenes. They fly under the radar. These are the unelected bureaucrats that we believe had an overwhelming influence over Joe Biden and could have possibly been serving as de facto presidents of the United States. The first step to issue a successful subpoena is to offer someone an invitation, a sincere request to come in and answer questions. If they do not, the next step will be the subpoenas. I agree with everything that the last person said about subpoenas, except the special counsel. I think that we can do that in Congress. We're going to bring these people in for depositions and transcribed interviews, and we're going to ask every question that a good journalist like yourself, Jesse, would ask. The American people want to know this. Momentum's on our side. New evidence has emerged just in the last few days, and I think that all eyes will be watching this new investigation by the House Oversight Committee.
So you don't want to say the name.
And that's James Comer of Kentucky. Well, do your job. Hold him to it, and let's make sure. Now, I put out. All right, well, let me finish up here. And thank you, Death will know my name, for the coffees and the support. Appreciate it to the fullest. There are the names that he didn't want to mention. I've got them right here. Senior advisor to the White House, Mike Donilon. Okay, and this is what he was saying. These are not famous names. These are not names. These people like to operate in the shadows. That's why they call it the shadow government and everything else. They don't want their name in headlines in the media. It's always cut out. Well, not at this point. Counselor to the president, Steve Ricchetti. Okay, Mike Donilon, Steve Ricchetti. Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy, Bruce Reed. Biden's wife, Jill. And you won't freaking believe this. And Hunter Biden. Yes, Hunter Biden was supposedly in on calling some of the shots for America and part of this 5-man posse. This is insane. The depth of it, the fact they covered up his cancer thing and lied about it the whole time. Like all the auto pen thing with the pardons, they should all be undone. He should not get a pass. But Trump made it clear when he came out and gave his condolences for the whole cancer thing that, like, you know, he's pretty much got a pass till he's dead. You know, he's got a pass. Like, he's not going to pursue him. I mean, Trump didn't even pursue Hillary, for crying out loud. The man said Hillary for prison his first term. Never put her away. She was front and center when he was inaugurated this last time. It's pathetic. He's not putting away Bill Gates. Bill Gates is down Mar-a-Lago having dinner with him. Again, you bring this stuff up to his base, it's crickets all the time. I'll debate you. I'll challenge you right now. You could bring it. Email me. Dabu7@yahoo.com. We'll sit here and we'll talk about any of the topics that you'll talk about, because you're the one that it always turns a cheek and runs the other way. I'm down to open about any and all of them. I've got about a dozen here we can touch on that I know you won't even dare speak on. Challenge is open. Just like the challenge I gave to everybody the last show. What'd I tell everybody? I said, tomorrow, remind me over on X. And I almost forgot. Nobody reminded me. But I remembered because I seen Rand Paul in my feed. I asked everybody to go out there and call, email, message, contact your senator and tell them to vote no on the big, beautiful bill. Because it has totalitarian AI infrastructure in it that no state can override for 10 years. So I hollered at Rand Paul right there on Twitter so everybody could see, and others jumped in on it, which much love. Shout outs to all you. That's what needs to be done. Thank you. Saying more things, liking it, sharing it, getting it seen, letting Rand know that these people over here are paying attention. And this is what we want. And what did I say to him? Rand, it'd be nice if you went and you voted a hard no on the subject. Well, what did he do? What did he come out and make a statement saying? He said that he is a hard no. Exact words on this bill. So my senator coming through, voting no on it. That's good. That's what we wanted. Is yours? I don't know. We could be told one thing and they do another, but in the end, all their names are listed there and what they vote for. And he has a pretty hard stance on this. I believe him on this. He's a no on it, and that's where we need him to be. So the big beautiful bill in section 43201 has the whole AI infrastructure bill. That's $500 billion of Trump's getting rolled out. And it says it bans any state from trying to stop what they do. That is the scariest crap that I've seen in a long time. Literature, verbiage, saying that no state can go against what the feds do in terms of AI, what they roll out for 10 years. For 10 years. They know there's going to be buck back. To make something like that, to put something like that out there is insane. And I haven't even got to that yet. That's coming up here. Here in the next couple here. Let me mention that the pro-Palestinian activists have targeted Ontario food terminal with the blockade. So now they're saying that this group is not being used just for pro-Palestinian stuff or like anti-Israel stuff as it was projected at first, but it's actually growing legs and taking off. And this is because George Soros is paying for this and supporting it like he always does, him and his minions. But they've blocked this food terminal, and they're going to continue to do this. They're attacking places that stand for capitalism or anything like that. They're taking a political stance And they're targeting places like this. So just throwing it out there, if you see highways blocked going into the summer, if you see flare-ups in cities of protest or something going on, BLM is retired. The pro-Palestinian activists are the new group. And it's all tied in. It's all the Soros goons. That's what I call them, the Soros goons. The whole Tesla takedown movement, all those people all tied into the same circles. You know? And on the other side, you have the establishment controlled right-wing outfits like Patriot Front. Pathetic. These guys, it's pathetic. But it's the feds. I'm going to play this clip so you can see what they look like if you don't know. If you see these guys out marching anywhere and you're like, what the hell's going on? Yeah, we won't go nowhere near these guys because they're clearly feds.
Patriot Front is here in Kansas City, Missouri, in honor of Memorial Day. We are here at the National World War I Museum and Memorial to give a speech and to demonstrate our ideals to the country and the world.
Reclaim America! Reclaim America!
So that's your Patriot Front. Again, I've never met anybody from Patriot Front that was legit.
SV.
We have an American charged with trying to firebomb the U.S. Embassy in Israel. A dual U.S.-German citizen accused of attempting to firebomb the U.S. Embassy in Israel was arrested in New York at the JFK airport. This 28-year-old Joseph Neumeyer. They say that the Mossad or the Israeli police snatched him up and deported him, handed him over to FBI agents. They said that he had potential lethal devices, and he sought to cause chaos at the embassy in Tel Aviv. So he had Molotov cocktails. You know, was just going to light them and throw them. You know. Like egging the place. Well, Molotov cocktail, it's fire, could burn the place down, it cause a lot more damage, obviously. But yeah. Always something somewhere, huh? And this is crazy. Wired post a DIY do-it-yourself video for Luigi Mangione's ghost gun. And some are like, why would they do this? And how come they can get away with doing something like this when anyone else, all the gun channels I've ever known on YouTube throughout the past 10 years have been dismantled and shut down. Bad. So I don't know. I mean, they get away with it. They just put the stuff. They give away directions on how to make the ghost gun on here. And that's crazy. Wired does. I told you, they want this. They want more of this. Thank you, Heidi, for the coffees. And my man, Lowrider. Man, much love, brother. Coming through, and I appreciate the support, guys. I don't know if I mentioned this on the last stream or not. It's dated here for Saturday, 12:50 in the afternoon. But I know I was looking at it. I didn't know if I'd mentioned it on Friday or not. But the Biden administration had labeled COVID dissenters as domestic violent extremist, which isn't good. Extremist. If you did not like getting locked down, if you voiced anything against mask mandates or lockdowns, you were labeled a DVE. That's right. Tulsi Gabbard just declassified all this information and said that they were targeting U.S. citizens. Those that rejected the mask mandates, they got a DVE put on them. domestic violent extremist. Little old lady could have said, nope, I don't want that mask. I can't breathe with it on. They'd be like, you're a DVE. That's how pathetic this is. It's the truth, though. I don't trust her one bit. Tulsi, I don't trust none of them. But when some of this information is getting dropped and coming to light,
is done here, what was done under the Biden administration. Was it they were saying that everyone who opposed, say, mask mandates or the vaccination of children are domestic violent extremists? Or were they saying that those are opinions often held by domestic violent extremists?
Yeah, well, that's a very good question. That when you look at the language of these documents that I've declassified, first, the strategic implementation plan of the Biden administration's designation of potential violent domestic extremists, it really talks about people who may likely turn out to be domestic violent extremists, or those who may likely turn to violence because of these specific quote-unquote ideologies that they hold. And there's a consistent thread through here that these ideologies that they are designating as turning into potentially violent activities or being manifested in violent activities happen to be those of people who were using their First Amendment rights to oppose certain policies of the Biden administration. And while some of the examples that are focused on there have to do with those who opposed the COVID vaccine mandates, those who opposed the mask mandates, parents who were concerned that their children going to school may be forcibly vaccinated with the COVID vaccine without the consent or awareness of parents. The list goes on and on, but
all those types of people. Can you imagine how many of us have DVE next to your name? You can guarantee it. Pure blood. Look down, see it, Ted. Much love. You can guarantee every single pure blood. For sure. All these people. What is DVE? It's domestic violent extremists. That's what we've all been labeled. You may not have a violent bone in your body, but there's a file out there in the government somewhere that has your name on it. It has domestic violent extremist on it. You know what that means? When you take that, when you walk into a room of people and you're like, look, we've got a full list here of violent domestic extremists. We're going to send drones out to start bombing them tonight. Most people in the room, they're going to be like, they're what? They're going to be like, they're violent domestic extremist. They're not going to ask any more questions. They're going to think of you as a jihadist. And then, like, they're going to greenlight you to get smoked. All of us. Don't you forget, we all got a file out there. They got on all of us. I'm telling you, almost everyone listening. You're a DVE. You might as well just get hit to. You're already part of a gang. You're already part of a club. Pure blood club here. Against the beast. This is just how it is until checkout time for me. I told you earlier, the biggest thing I fear is bird flu or this next big event, whatever it is, because it's going to be definitely, I feel it's going to be bird flu. I pray to the Most High in heaven that he stops it. You know, it's written that he cut short those days. And thank God for it. I don't know where we're going to go from here, but the beta test already got you labeled a domestic violent extremist. What is the next event going to do? I'm telling you, the Bill Gates 666 Luciferus patented was never used. And what is crazy about that is it leaves an X on you, a mark on you that glows in the dark. The Luciferus glows. So they shine a light on you and you raise your hands Just like in the movie Songbird that I never did get a chance to see, but I saw the commercials for it, and it was crazy. It showed the people getting rounded up at gunpoint, and they had to raise their hands at like 20 foot away from the military guys with guns, and they had to show their mark. And trust me, if you got anywhere near them without your mark, you're getting executed. This is exactly what my boy that got killed was trying to tell everybody in this movie about Gray State. And they threatened me on that one. R.I.P., bro. And it's just... All right, let's get into the big ugly bill. They are using, like a carrot on a stick, a suppressor for all the patriots that got a small brain and can't think outside of the box. They are putting a suppressor as the carrot at the end of the stick and dangling it out there for all the people that can't think or whatever, or won't critically think, and saying, look, guess what's in this big ugly bill? We've got it to where you can buy a suppressor and not have any issues. You know how many eyebrows? They put some thinking into this because they knew that most of the patriots, after most of the guys sitting there would hear this, they would want to run out and get it, and they would praise it. And they would want it to pass. Do you see what they've done? Do you see what they've done? Carrot on a stick, but it gets better. Trump's big ugly bill will be beautiful for areas with retirees. So now he's targeting the older class. And a carrot on a stick as well, trying to say, oh, we're going to give you a few $100s worth of benefits every month through this bill. But only for people that are like 65 and older. Okay, so targeting on the older groups right there and anyone that loves their gun. Both groups in one fall swoop doing the same thing, carrot on a stick and saying, hey, the big ugly bill, you want it to pass because these things are in it. Right? The reality is, hidden inside of the big ugly bill is section 43201 on AI infrastructure. And it's the most tyrannical thing you've ever seen in your life. I'm repeating it because people got to know this. This means that the feds can say anything, that AI does this, AI is doing that. AI is going to take control of all the lights in your town, all the red lights and all the emergency calls or all this and that and all the snitching. And it could get to a point where a state don't like it and a state don't want it. But guess what? You're not going to be allowed to say no. That's what makes it the most tyrannical thing in the bill. It doesn't belong in there. These are the points we're bringing up because we got the eyes to see. I didn't even hear Rand Paul mention. He was mentioned that it was going to cause the deficit to explode, the near-term deficit, which is another huge thing that's about to happen. Near-term deficit is about to explode. Nobody cares. Again, nobody cares. Not until they're in food lines. The greater depression kicks in. They done stole everything from you, your whole 401k and the farm that you work so hard to get. This is a facade, though, with the whole Trump thing. Okay? His approval rating is at 50%, meaning 50% of the population right down the middle are buying it. The other 50 ain't. So you just remember that. It's half and half. That's where it's at. Ain't like he's got some overwhelming consensus. He doesn't. Half the people out there do not trust them. Okay? And if you're new, just waking up, and you're like, but, man, look, we don't play the politic game around here. We're above that. It's called the left-right paradigm. We don't get sucked into it. We know the powerful people control both sides. You get that? Okay? You need to get that quick. You need to get out of the whole political realm that they got you sucked into. And you need to see it for what it is. Again, I walk around here like Rowdy Roddy Piper, man, from They Live. I've seen it all every day, and it's just like... This one made me laugh, though. Say a lot of things about Macron and his... what he calls a wife. They call it Bridget. It's an evil troll looking thing here. Well, she apparently gives him like a double smack in the face, and it's caught camera. I just thought it was funny because stuff like this isn't ever meant to like get caught. He notices that he gets caught. They're caught. It's the same man that just got caught last week with a bag of white powder in front of him on the table on the train, and the dude next to him had a Coke nose spoon. All of it was right there, busted. They could say whatever they want. They were definitely indulging. The bag was right there. What are the white substances carried around in a white bag like that you're going to take and hide? And then your dude has the spoon. Get out of here. They were smoked. Watch this. Apparently, she didn't want to take his arm neither down the steps. And they must have been in a spat. So he has his arm out and she doesn't want it. So then she must have been checking him or something. You know, this guy's been controlled by that thing ever since he was like a teenager. It was his teacher or something they ended up marrying and all this crazy crap. France is just like a dictatorship at this time. France, Germany, both the leaderships of a lot of our leaderships. Look at Israel. Look at Bibi. Can't get any worse than him, right? Going around everywhere like we're bombing here. We're just blowing everyone's heads off. Well, rejects this new ceasefire proposal. They cite impossible Hamas demands. Well, guess what? Let's go to one of their POWs. What does a former POW from Israel have to say about when she was in captivity, when she was being held hostage by Hamas? What did she fear the most? What did she fear the most? Was it getting raped and tortured by Hamas? No. It was Israeli bombs. Every single time one hit, she's over. Whole place crumbled when they bombed it. The wall she was leaning against did not. It's the only thing that saved her. It's pretty bad when you hostages that the very few that make it back. This Naama Levy, 20 years old, speaking out and saying no, like they didn't do anything to us, like the thing that killed everybody, bombs. It just says it right there. POWs. Their tanks and their guns and their bombs. Yeah. Well, keep it pushing. From the Caspian to the Gulf, Iran is opening up a corridor. And this is a game. Some people may not care about what here, but man, when it can lead to world war and all this, I pay attention. they're sparking this route from India through and up into Russia. And this will feed also right into Europe, which, if Europe wants to be with Russia, then it will stop in Russia and Europe will just be off. That's what they're messing with. How does Europe, especially with the United States not involved, we're completely out of this, on the sidelines. The heart of this is Ukraine. Okay. How do they wage war, even if they start launching with Russia, and contend with Iran, India, or China, for that matter? I mean, how do they do it? I don't see them doing it. I see them losing. I just do. Dude, India, China dropping their warhammers alongside of Russia. And it's Africa in the mix. Like, they're surrounded, man. Saudi Arabia, all this mix. I don't know. I understand why Europe keeps wanting to go to war with Russia. Some of these countries constantly. There's really no excuse for it anymore. So look at this one. Look at the next one. The next one's pretty crazy. Iran and China launch a new railway that bypasses U.S. sanctions. So now you can have a railway that goes from China to Iran, and then from Iran you can go right on up into Russia. It's they're making these moves. Railway by sea and by land. They're making moves, man. I don't know. Here, a big move happened here this week in terms of Ukraine. Actually try to take Putin down, as they put it. They sent a drone up in the air in the path of his helicopter, and they had to evade them. And in the doing so, Russia shot down all the drones. But they basically say that it was an attempted attack on Putin himself, which kind of changes the game. Whether that's the case or not, Russia latched onto it. They don't miss an opportunity. They pounded Kiev. They're pounding Kiev. It used to be people would say, "Oh, war's not even going on in Ukraine." They would show pictures as it was untouched. And they were like, people live life as normal here. There's no war going on. Well, garbage. They're not saying that now. It's because Russia wasn't targeting the main city. If this city falls, it's over. If the main city falls, it's done. There's no going anywhere. Wait till I get to this point what they show here. Where they're taking this. Oh, yeah, and Russia smashed our U.S. missile defense system. That's right. We took them from Israel, and we took them down, and we put them in Ukraine just here recently on Trump's hand, on his watch, and Russia smashed them. I'd be freaking out at this point if I was the West, because you don't have anything to stop, not even their normal rockets, but the Mach 3 that they put on display this past year. When the Mach missiles drop, it's like liquid lightning. I don't know. It's like lava coming out. It's crazy. The damage they do, precision, and how quick they zip down like flashes of lightning. It's so quick. Man, we don't have a way to stop it. You don't really want to go to war at this point. I don't think, man. Places are going to get hit so quick. Oh, man. It needs to come to a stop at some point here. We're getting really close to it, popping off. When you get this deep into Kiev or into Ukraine, country pretty much 3/4, I think something crazy is going to happen. It's always been destined to happen here, man. Remember, the Chinese showed us in the rover pic a mushroom cloud that should have never been there. Should have never been subtly just painted into the picture. But it was. And it came from this area. Telling you it's because it's meant to be. Something's meant to go down here. They had no problem with Chernobyl and the radiation and all that stuff doing it before. This used to be the breadbasket of the area, not no more. And Trump is claiming that Putin has gone absolutely crazy for no reason. This is what he's saying now. This is the newest from Trump. He's saying it's not his war again because he couldn't get the deal done, and that Russia's going full on. They're pressing, and he says Putin wants more. He wants more, and he's pushing on, and that he's gone absolutely crazy, and that he don't know why he's firing missiles into Kiev while they're trying to work on peace. That he'll see what he can do. He'll see what he can do. Obviously, you can't do nothing. Like, he should have strong-armed him, but he didn't. He doesn't have that sway over him. Russia's showing that they're going to do whatever they want. And this is nuts. Look at this. This is what I've been waiting to get to here so I can show you this. This is what they're saying. And this is crazy. They come out and they said, that's Ukraine. This is what Ukraine is about to be. This itty-bitty sliver on the left, bordering Slovakia and Poland. This means Ukraine's gone. All right? The whole eastern side, the Donbass, Luhansk, all that, it's all under Russian control now, the whole eastern flank. So it's just the central to the west that they're moving into. Okay? They're pounding. Earlier, Vladimir Putin said on TV, we're going to continue to pound, 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 and pound. That was his exact words. Medvedev came out and he said, we're going all the way. And he goes, this is what's going to happen. He goes, we've got to do this because they've got missiles that can hit Moscow basically from Kiev. So basically, they have to take control of this whole area and push back the border, the boundary, the buffer zone to this region. This puts them at a safe distance from NATO missiles, which are sitting right in Poland and all this other stuff, all these other countries here. Okay, so this is a freaking tiny sliver. Man, all balled up when it's all said and done, I don't even know if that's more than what Crimea is. This is what they are projecting. Huge war in this area is not off the table until something is signed and it's done and a peace accord is in effect. No way. Russia is telegraphing they're going to take this whole thing. And Trump is telegraphing he ain't doing nothing. He's stepping out of the sidelines. And I think it's kind of garbage because even though you want to say it's not your war, you are the president of the country that is a main part of this war. You should do everything like you said you were going to do and not send a dime more. He reneged on that and he sent it. Right? Same with the weapons. And like I just told you, he sent weapons from Israel down into Ukraine to rebuff it. Like, come on. Like, if you really wanted quit sending weapons. It's all a theater, man. So, Putin saying that they were forced to have to do this. They have to do this operation against Kiev, and that this whole thing they have to do. The Vatican was mentioned as a place for peace talks. Kremlin says that's not going to do. It's not a neutral place. Some people raise an eyebrow like, what? Like, you're saying that it's not, he's saying, no, it's not neutral. That's not neutral. So that's out the window. I don't know what's going to happen with the whole war front with Ukraine. As far as I could tell, it's is what it is. Cuba is now a strategic battleground for China. against us, and it has been. The United States really let this one go. They should have done everything in their power to work something out with Cuba a long time ago. And who knows, if Kennedy wouldn't have been killed and all this other stuff, which way things would have went. But it would have done our country a lot of good if they just had worked out some kind of agreement. I mean, look what they're talking about doing, going up and militarily taking over Greenland and making Canada the 51st state. Like, Cuba is critical. It's right up in our belly. It always has been. And the sanctions on Cuba has crushed them for the longest time. And it's caused a huge rift. Like, there should have been some kind of deal made and worked out. Like, come on, Trump, Mr. Gentile Messiah, Prince Peace that they call you. You don't even try down here. I've never seen them ever. Like, what's the deal? I really don't get it. Unless they always wanted it to be this way. But I would think that it would have helped us big time to have worked out some kind of deal with Cuba. But no, it sets the stage for Russia to be down their spine on us, for China to do the same thing. And they're saying that there's like 20 different main sensitive facilities in Florida alone that they would be spying on. A long time ago, I took my drone down there. And I found the site that was it was weird. And the only thing I could do is go down and get the drone up. And it was a military site, U.S. government military site. Like, they didn't like that I did it. But I was like, what are you doing here? Like, what is this place doing? What is the point of it? And it seemed to be like a big spying apparatus. Is what I took from it. Like radar, like spying and all this, like, listening and all this other stuff. Like, it was messed up. But sites like that are all around Florida. And they're saying that China is basically targeting them at this point. The CIA says that winning this AI war with China is at the top of the list. They say it's an existential threat to the United States. Now, if you back up a little bit, China's got a 1 million-man army in here. They snuck in over the past 4 years under the Biden regime. They've admitted that. Over 1 million of them hiding probably on the property that the Chinese own right next to our military bases, which is suspect and a setup. Christopher Wray said that they have hacked into every part of our infrastructure, the water, the electric, you name it. They're in there. All they got to do is flip a switch. I've shown you that they're inside of other electronics, in our ports, and things like that. Flip of a switch, it's over. Like, any day now, it's all sitting there. They know this. They've even told us this, but they're not replacing it. They're not trying to find a way to fix it. Like, what's going on here? Like, this is a huge red flag. Like, well, you're telling us all these things, but like, you're not removing them. I've never seen a report one. I've not seen one story of Tom Homan or a government official, military, not a one, going to any piece of property that Chinese own that's butted up to our military facilities. I mean, it warrants one of us grabbing our cameras and going down there and doing it. Texas. Don't turn your cheek now. You hear me? That's where the main place is. One of the main places. The Chinese are butted right up next to our military compound down there and own it. And it's widely known. You can look it up and you can find it. Just stroll up to the place, right up to where they connect, right where they touch. And just film and see what we see. I mean, come on. I mean, does anybody care? It seems like they don't anymore. Everybody just wants to sit around and watch TV or just watch stuff and like not do nothing. We need soldiers. We need riders. Uncommon, if you're out there, I know you'll do it. He's a rider. He's down in El Paso, though. There we go. I'm gonna get that on his radar. Need to holler at him anyway. And see what he's seeing, what's going on down there. As an update for the border down there, I heard that a lot of those areas have dried up in terms of the influx of illegal migrants coming across. The military has set up big time down there, all across the border. And they say that a Mexican cartel leader with $1 million bounty on his head has been killed. He was killed in Sinaloa. Now, from what I'm hearing, the gangs and all the cartels and all the stuff, all the people in Mexico, they are very aware of what's happening, that the military is amassing at our border, that there's warships off the coastline, that there's big things happening, and that there's drones crisscrossing and Apaches flying above, like something's about to go down. We know this. Trump declared an emergency on day one, and his excuse was specifically a war on the southern border, of which they haven't even fired a shot, so to speak, because I'm talking war. Apaches, drones dropping bombs, they're blowing compounds up, like it's about to begin. And see, these areas know it. Some of the cartels down here aren't all bad, to put it that way. Okay, there's different factions. That's just the cartel is what controls the different region, and protects it. And this is how it's explained to me from people that are there, that live there, because I wanted to go and I can't even find Mexican friends that would take me there. They refuse to go. They won't. They're like, nope, you're on your own on that one, because they know people have already been killed down there. So, the way I take it is that there was a raid, and it seems like some of the local police units, if you will, of some of these towns and these regions decided they had to take this guy out, because if some of these guys don't get taken out, the military is going to come and do it. And when the military does it, it's like they have no control of them. Bombs are flying. Places are going to start getting drone struck. They don't want that. So in Sinaloa, they went ahead and they made the move on this guy and took him out. Like, okay, here, we got him. He's done. He's dead. They didn't just arrest him and killed him. So they've showed the American military and armed forces that, look, we're willing to do what you want us to do, which is help clean up these cartels. And they are. So some of them are making moves. I just want to point that out. Which it's getting bloody in there. I mean, there's so many crazy stories, bloody stories. And I had somebody email me trying to beg me to come down there, tell me it was safe and all this, when I consistently am popping off stories that people are getting murdered and kidnapped and blown away. Last week, it was that girl that was live on social media. The dude rolled up, act like he was going to give her a gift, and blew her away right there on live stream in Mexico. Act like it ain't happening there. It's ridiculous, man. Right before that was a mayor. They were at a festival with their whole family, just greeting people, talking to people, all get gunned down, mowed down right there. Broad daylight. Wouldn't tell me it ain't happening. Students get kidnapped when they go down and get chopped into pieces. Wouldn't tell me it ain't happening. Like, I just feel like that's like a trap. Like somebody's trying to lead me into a trap. Like there, that's pisses me off. When I can clearly see it's safe. And my own Mexican people won't even take me down there. I don't know, it's not good, man. Look at this. Suspected human smugglers arrested in Texas. They're hiding people in hay bales. They're hollowing them out. They're hollowing the hay bales out, man. Like, wow. People in there, stuffed in there. Human trafficking, man. People. My thing is, like, when you see stories like this, some people are thinking, oh, they're just trying to smuggle people that want to get into the United States in. Well, not necessarily. These could be kidnapped people. They could be children. You don't know. You don't know what they're hauling. They're in the business of human trafficking. You know? Cash, man, thank you for the coffees. Good to see you. Much love. Hope all is well. Thank you so much. All right, let me jump into this real quick. I got two more big key things here that we'll touch on before we wrap it up here tonight. And this one is I'm going to dive into the AI stuff and into some ancient stuff. Eric Schmidt, he is warning that the AI arms race is going to spark a global conflict. And he's not the only one. A bunch of people are saying this. They're warning the same thing that they were saying like a year ago. Remember when Elon and everybody came out and they were like, we need to like pause this AI thing, postpone it for 6 months because it's going to go crazy as soon as we do. It was that bad. They literally pushed everything back 6 months to buy humanity a little bit of time because they knew it. Even themselves, they knew it. They even said it. It's like, we're pushing this thing back before we start it just because we're giving us a window here before it all begins to enjoy before the AI takeover commences. And that's where we are. It's being rolled out. And I can't stress the importance of the big, beautiful bill that they're pushing, that it gets rejected in the form that it is, especially with the AI thing taken out. But all we can do is pray on that and hope that people play the part. But they're going to try to push it through somehow. Silver Sailor, much love, man. Yes, and salutes to all of our veterans and the fallen out there. Much love, my brother. I've told you all what I stressed about AI big time. Here's one last final thing from Doug Berman. Bergman says that whoever wins this AI race will control the world. I agree. I believe that's where we're at. He's not the only one, again, that believes in this, but he believes that this is significant, that whatever happens in the next 5 years will shape the next 50. That's saying a lot, man. We got a chance for global war, a total reset, all these things within a small window of this 5-year window. 2030 coming up on us fast. We're already coming up on halfway through 2025. Time's flying by. He's saying that it's China and their DeepSeek, their AI, it's proving that they're a threat. And whoever wins this battle will control the world, basically, from here. They're all saying it. This is what it is. Okay, the AI arms race. That's where we're at. It was a space race at one point. It was this race, that race. We are at an AI race. And it's a race to see who can capitalize on ASI. What's ASI? Artificial superintelligence. We've been saying AI this whole time because it's artificial intelligence. But when you start to add in S, you're talking super intelligence. And this is where things get crazy. This is where, in all their tests and everything already, they've started to see plots where the AI is going against its creator. These are things you have to watch for. So they're going at this at lightning speed. Like, the AI is of the top 3 things that scares me here. You know, the bird flu and a big, huge pandemic, a real pandemic, it's like top. But then the implementation of AI, this is like the beast system. the demonic beast system controlled by the jinn. Because that's who's giving them the power. It's not a secret. We know what they're doing now. They are wizards. They are witches. They're breaking the rules. You're not supposed to cast circles and do what they do. You're supposed to lean on the Holy Spirit that was provided for you to battle against these jinn in this test. Okay? But they cheat. And they do like the Knights Templar do. They cast circles and they call upon Azazel and they call upon the jinn that are very real. And people that ignore this, they're ignorant. They're dumb. They're never going to get this figured out. This is the truth of how this place operates. It's never been hidden either. You know, I say it all the time. We wrestle not against flesh, but against spiritual wickedness in high places. And that's what this is. That's what they were referencing. That's what they are telling you. This is a proving ground, a testing ground. In the jinn, I already told you this too. If you missed it, it said in the books that were taken out of your Bible, Jubilees, giants, and all that, what happened? The jinn, the Nephilim, the giants that got wiped out in the flood, they became the jinn. They became the spirits to test mankind. That's how this place operates. Huh? Anybody care? Anybody really care? Because I'm summing it up for you in a nutshell. This is it. This place got crazy. It had giants. It ate the humans. It's for real. And they flooded it out. It's in your Bible. Okay? As soon as the waters receded, we were created. Okay? We are different from Noah. They lived hundreds of years. We only lived to 120. We're a completely different species. And people don't even stop to wrap their head around that huge little clue and detail there. That's why anything pre-flood, Gilgamesh, Noah, any of their bodies, if you find them, it's huge. It's like digging up a giant. It's different. They're a different form of human. You cannot say they're the same. They were made the same. We're not. We were made different, completely different. Our anatomy was different. We lived different. They lived hundreds of years. We are cut off at 120. We were manipulated. So that's two different species right there, basically. Two different branches of human, of breed. They want to just muddy the water and throw together, and everyone don't even ask the question. But you got to stop and slow it down. And again, apply the books that they took out. Put them back in position. Fill in the holes and the blanks. The jinn were terrible. They caused so much problems that Noah prayed to God and asked God to stop it. So he sent down the archangels. And what do? They rounded up 90% of the jinn and put them like a genie in a bottle and did away with them and left 10%. That's what we're dealing with right now. Right? These are the holy scriptures that they try to keep hidden from you. They also created a place in the rock where all the souls go, if anyone cares. This is very important stuff. All that's in the book of Enoch. If anybody cares. Because you're going there one day soon. Because as far as I could tell, this is pretty much a soul trap. You live it out, you do what you do, and there's places that have been created. They told us this for the souls to go sit until judgment, until everything gets judged. It's exactly how it was described, and I expect to go unless you're the lucky ones, and we're living in a life when it ends, like when it all goes down. You get the tribulation, you're still here, you're still breathing, it's all hitting the fan, but he comes down in the flesh, like the return, and it happens, and you are the generation that actually lived to see it. Oh man, see, that's the one to live. That's the life to live. And that's why I believe a lot of us are in here. That's the one to brag about. You could live in the 1400s, 1800s, 1900s, during any of these times. But to live in the last epic, in the last chapter, Like, come on. Like, when it all went down, like, there's not really one that tops that, I don't think. We're living in it. So you just remember those things. I got a couple ancient stories here I want to tie into this. Okay. Iren says, I think Enoch is deception. Man, look, I'm just banning your scared ass. I don't need people like you and your small mind around here. You understand that? That just cast doubt and all this. Those books were stripped and it's hidden knowledge, and you want to sit there and cast it as deception. See ya. Okay. Check this one out. I told you about the Mahabharata. I believe that's how you say it, right? It's the ancient Hindu text that they talk about the Vimana. They talk about huge war that took place in ancient times. There are actually cities that they've proven they show existed that went through these ancient battles, like Dwarka. Okay, look this stuff up and do your research on it. Some homework. These ancient battles that really took place. And in these scriptures that they had, they detailed the weaponry, the flying aircraft, all of it. And the timeline is pretty interesting, because I just so happen to be, looking through different stories today, and I come across two that when an ancient timeline like hits, if I see two different stories out of all the years of history that could have popped up, the exact same date basically pops up, it's kind of like a sign to me that, like, we had an event, something went down, kind of like the Younger Dryas event. Younger Dryas is somewhere 13,000 years ago. This event was somewhere around 7,000 years ago. It was some kind of global war or catastrophe that took place in the mix. I'm sure there was many. I mean, we had Atlantis, we had Lemuria, we had different epics, different things that went down, man. But they speak of here of interplanetary travel, and that flight existed 7,000 years ago in these texts. Okay, 7,000. Ancient Hindus describing aviation and all this 7,000 years before the Wright brothers, and I believe it. I believe all of it. Just like we see all the stuff inscribed on the walls of the pyramids. There was light bulbs there. There was aircraft. There was all types of stuff. I also believe, as you see depicted on them, there was giants. As you see the huge statues, those were depicting the giants. They didn't keep the secret, man. But they're trying to keep it secret now when you dig them up. Even then, it's not secret. We know. The Smithsonian, the other museums, they have the double rows of teeth. We have Lovelock Cave, for instance, in out west that shows proof that there were giants and all this stuff. We know this. They just go out of their way to hide it these days. Basically take it to the basement. Out of sight, out of mind. But we know it's there. Man, you never know what you're going to find in your backyard. I was on a trail, let's just put it that way, in the Appalachian Mountain Range here not long ago, and I stumbled across what looks to be an ancient carving. It looks like it's an ancient bird head. Definitely carved. I even had an expert in the stuff take a look at it and say, from what he could tell, just by images, not being able to go there in the flesh, but just by seeing in the video and the images, it definitely looked man-made, carved, and very old. And I put a video out on it on my channel. If you were in the valley below looking up at the cliffs, you would see a bird's head. It's wild. Like, not, so to speak, right now, the way all the trees are grown up, but like if they were cleared, or if they were smaller or less, I just tried to think back, like if from where we found it, looking down, I mean, it's nothing but a huge valley below. It's in the perfect spot. It's a marker. It's crazy. We don't know what for. There's legends of old silver mines and all types of stuff throughout these mountains, man. You never know, and a lot of it connects to things like that. You just never know, man. You get out there, man, hit the trails, man. Get out there before this is all said and done. Do some hiking, get up into these mountains, do some exploring. There's stuff to be found. I'm going to tell you, I found it here out west. I guarantee you, I've got videos on it. They get censored heavy, I've noticed. Really heavy. You only get like a few thousand views or something. And it's like mind-boggling stuff. Like proof of another civilization. Like proof of it. Stuff they made. There's not a sign here that says, oh, this was made by the Aztecs. Or no, nothing. Out in the four corners in the middle of nowhere in this country where it's 120 degrees baking, they don't want you to even go there or even realize what's there. We went. And I'm telling you, there was an ancient, massive civilization that was here. It's proven it to me. We've found the remnants of a civilization so old that it's been worn down to nothing. You could see them like from satellite imagery. A lot of these structures, and when you get there on the ground, it's just like nothing is left, but barely a footprint. Like the sands of time have worn it away. It's so old. And that's right here in your own country. I found stuff right down in New Mexico, right across the border, man, down in New Mexico, that will blow your freaking mind. And I've been wanting to go there for years and years and years, get drones on it, get cameras on it, but I'm afraid we'll get killed. And that's real talk. And look at this. This is the backup story to that one. I'm looking today, and sure enough, how did this 1,300-ton boulder get on top of this cliff? This is in Tonga. They say a massive tsunami hit this area 7,000 years ago. What are the odds that exactly 7,000 years ago, I just got done showing you, the Indian legends were saying that there was flying aircraft and there was war and huge stuff going down exactly 7,000 years ago. And exactly 7,000 years ago, there was a massive tsunami so large that it took this mammoth rock and placed it way up on a cliff. That is nuts. That's how this giant boulder got up here. It had to be that massive. What cataclysmic of an event would have carried a boulder that size all the way to the top of a freaking mountain and dropped it off? Like, you're talking major. Oh, you guys are mentioning RFB in my chat. Please don't. Because he's attacked us. He's deleted you. He used to be a mod on my channel, and he was deleting you because he was jealous of me. And he told us as much. He told me he did it. Okay? So mention that guy around here when he was a mod here and was caught deleting you guys. Was caught banning people left and right and then admitted it. So, done there. Anyhow, yeah, people just scream me left and right. And that's what I found out here on YouTube, is almost everybody out there would just use you and backstab you left and right. That's all most have done. Except for some of you that are out there. I've met some really good people, man, and writers, like Kev Bar right there in the chat that I've had the blessing to meet in the flesh. Honey Ross. Like, I know there's real writers out there. I thank God for that. I've been able to meet some of you, and I want to meet more of you before it's all said and done. I'll be honest, the only problem with that is you have to go through legions of demons to find you. And I'm willing to do it. Really look forward to having another meetup in the future. I don't know where, when, how, but I just want to do. I just want to meet good people, hang out, talk about the crazy stuff. That's what the best part of my conference ever was talking to the people. We start off immediately taking questions from the crowd, and it just takes off, man. And but next thing you know, we break down the whole room to where the whole room's moving around, talking, floating around in pockets, and this is one big conference, man. People getting it in. And yeah, some snakes slide up in there, and that's gonna happen in life and anything. I ask God to give me that ability to read people, to know people. I call it knowing. And I don't know. When you meet a good person, a good soul, you know it. You know what I mean? I don't even have to describe it. You just know when you meet a good person. And, well, you can't do that if you don't get out and try, right? So I look forward to try to get some Q City in the house. Q City in the house, man. Yes, Q City was there at the conference, man. See, I love it. And RIP to all of our crew. Big Danny, Carolina May, Mike Morales, all of my cats that I've lost. I know you're still riding with us. I know it. Again, RIP to all of our family that's passed, especially here on this Memorial Day. Yeah. Yeah, and 11, I know it's past, but much love on the 11/11 fam there. Jay Tick says he's getting close to leaving this channel behind. I'm going to do you the favor, and I'm just going to bounce you. The things we've talked about tonight, there's just no reason for it. There's just no reason for it. You want to disrespect the Holy Spirit and the righteousness and the good things and everything that we're talking about here. I've done absolutely nothing wrong. Just give RIP shout outs to everybody, and you say you want to leave, well, you're gone. Yeah, I miss Mike too, guys. You gotta appreciate what you got. I won't be here forever. None of us be here forever, right? I don't know, Pixie, and much love, Pixie. Pixie there too. I'll never forget meeting Pixie. Oh man. Just good times. I got a lack of that in my life. Yeah, everything's all stress all the time, especially in this world that I live in. It's just all madness all the time. It'd be refreshing to just step away from it for a minute, but like I never can. I don't know. I thank you guys, all you guys that fight the good fight. I sure do. Appreciate it to the fullest. You're always going to have some trolls. You're always going to have some haters. Much love, Steve, man. Yeah, much love. Yeah, I want to thank you guys again, all you guys. Lauren, Glenn, Wounded. Yeah, Ghostface, Deanne. Yeah, some people see us. Some people just, they can go waller in their own misery. We extend the olive branch around here, but when people bring unwarranted negativity into the scene, they can just bounce. They got no place with me. I don't keep anyone around me hardly, except for righteous ones. As righteous as I can find. No one's perfect, and everybody gets tested, and some people need help out there, man. Thank you, Tooge. Much love, Tooge, Tacos, Sonny, Fry Guy, all the crew, everybody that shared the stream tonight. Kev Bar, can't thank you enough, man. Being there for all these years. See you get in the flesh. D White, the same. All the mods, hold it down. We'll thank Lil Puff out there for all the work done here recently for the underground. And I made this for you guys. If anybody cares. I mean, I did a poll here and asked if people wanted me to make an underground project. The majority said yes. So we created it, and it's created and it's growing, and we're adding to it. And it's what I view as like our stock. It's our project that you can invest in. And the whole idea is to invest in it and to hold it over time. I mean, the idea in my mind wasn't to like make it some major trading mechanism, but it was to like have something we could all invest in. And if you invest and you hold, it grows over time. So as I always say, buy the dip, not the tip on this undertoken, man. Thank you, Puff. Got latest videos are posted over here as well. I lost Underground World News because of Jeff Sisk. He snaked it on me and basically lost it. So I haven't had a site to post videos on or any information in quite some time. So I do appreciate this, Puff, more than you know. It's got all the links to all my socials on here and all that. A lot of information over here and links to the project and all that. We got Discord, Telegram that you could join. If you've got any questions, people are there to help. You can also email me, dabu7@yahoo.com. I do my best to get back to everybody as well. But, yeah, man. I look to be back here on, let's see, what is today? It's track of the days. We'll be back here on Wednesday. Going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, God willing. Hopefully no crazy weather hits us again. Want you guys to remain safe out there. Follow me on X. Again, that's where most of the news is popping off at over there. And I guess I'm going to take us out of here on some music, get some shout outs on the way out. Just much love, you guys, man. Never know when it's going to be the last one. Much love daily, and thank you for all you do. Can't thank you enough, Deanne. Thank you for the support and the coffees and the prayers, all the love. Thank you, someone, for the coffees. Again, Cash, good to see you. Heidi, Lowrider, Death will know. I guess it didn't sound good saying Death. John, Wiley, Enigma. Much love, God bless, guys. Oh, and you know, the legendary Eon, always checking in, man. Legendary. Thank you so much, Eon. More than words can